The statistics are staggering. According to the CDC, more than 4,000 fatal drownings happen every year in the U.S., an average of about 11 drownings per day. It's the leading cause of death among children ages 1 to 4 and the second leading cause of death in ages 5 to 14. But there are also significant racial disparities within those numbers.
Experts say black children are at a greater risk and more likely to drown than white children. Equally concerning, 87% of those children who cannot swim plan to visit a beach or pool at least once during the summer months.
Reporter Heather Graff has an in-depth look at this issue through the eyes of the only all-black team in collegiate swimming, a team vowing to be part of the solution.
When we first met Nick Askew on the campus of Howard University in Washington, D.C.,
you ready?
The pool was quiet.
1 for the money, 2 for the show.
But not for long.
3 to get ready. And 4, 2, go!
Students from a nearby middle school making a splash on this late July morning.
You know, we have a lot of fun in the clinic. You know, there's a lot of laughter, there's a lot of smiles within it.
And as the head coach for Howard Swimming and Diving and an alum here.
Good, a little bit more.
Askew wouldn't have it any other way.
You know, when I grew up, even though the pool was in my neighborhood, it was still seen by myself and many other people of color in the community as that's not our space.
So this space.
Your family, now that you're here, okay? And we're gonna treat you just like that.
Is where he and his staff and his team hope to turn the tide.
We have to, with an amazing amount of force, have to do things in order to break the cycle.
The cycle he's referring to involves the fact 64% of African American children have little to no swimming ability. That's according to a study done by the USA Swimming Foundation. Plus, the CDC says black children age 5 to 14 drown at rates around 3 times higher than white children across all water settings. And the disparities are even more pronounced in swimming pools, where black children aged 10 to 14 drown at rates nearly 8 times higher than white children.
Are those statistics more motivation for you?
Absolutely, because it's something we can change. Drowning is preventable, and the number one thing is being able to have access and opportunity. And then number 2 is being able to feel safe and comfortable in your first experience. Ready, go!
At Howard, that means holding frequent Learn to Swim clinics for kids in the DC community, followed by summer camps for young swimmers of all skill levels.
All right, okay.
And once the college swimming season officially starts,
we want to make sure that we keep going higher and higher and higher.
Askew challenges his student athletes to lead by example.
Because we're in a sport that doesn't look like us. First group!
In fact, Howard is the only historically black college or university that still has a swim program, making theirs the only all-black swim team in college athletics. And the latest NCAA data reveals black swimmers account for just 3% of competitors on the men's side and 1% on the women's side.
It's just so much more than just the sport of swimming.
For Howard swimmers Langston Weddington and Michaela Spears.
When I was 2 years old, my mom wanted me to learn how to swim because she didn't know how to swim.
It's also about representation.
You know, that image is so important for black men and women because it's so many more boundaries than just, black people don't want to swim, black people don't know how to swim. It dates back years, it still affects us now.
The nonprofit Diversity in Aquatics speaks often about that long history of exclusion and discrimination in swimming.
There were policies set in place that said, Jim Crow laws that says you are not allowed to go into this pool. And then later on, they would say, oh, you had to have a house in this community to be a part of this pool. And if you are African American trying to buy a house in that community, you weren't allowed to buy a house.
Dr. Miriam Lynch is the organization's executive director and says their mission is to educate, promote, and support swimming in marginalized populations.
Is it also about saving lives?
That's first and foremost, is about saving lives.
Lynch is also a former Howard swimmer herself and a volunteer assistant coach for the current team led by Askew.
20 seconds!
so she had a front row seat in February 2023 when the school's men's team won the Northeast Conference Championship for the first time ever.
And we were like, wow, we really did it.
Oh man, it was special. It was really special. That's the only way I can really describe it.
That win for Howard University was like a win for everyone. It was a win for the community. The disparities don't define us.
You got it. Go, go.
Coach Askew recalling the moment his swimmers began to realize their impact.
A family stopped them and said, you're the team that's in the news. You guys are Howard University. And of course they were like, yeah, you know, that's us.
And in the months that followed, he says they heard from people all over the country.
We've gotten emails from people young and young at heart who are starting and learn to swim and saying that they were inspired because of that.
It really means the world to know that we've opened the doors to just water safety to so many people. It's like saving lives. Like,
it really is.
Literally, it's a matter of life and death.
A ripple effect on diversity and safety in the water.
Ready, go!
And Askew promises they're not done making waves.
I think it resonates with a lot of people, and that's truly one of the things that we're aspiring to do. You know, the myth that black people don't swim. That's something that, it's just that, it's a myth.
Let's go! All the way!
In 2023, the Diversity in Aquatics group mentioned in Heather's story partnered with dozens of other nonprofits to develop the first ever National Water Safety Action Plan. They call it a roadmap to reduce drownings, with a 10-year plan and recommendations that include legislative change along with more public education and training. It also provides resources on how to make water activities safer.